Yo, welcome back to Wires Reacts, where today we are listening to the second track on Avenged Sevenfold's Life is But a Dream album. This one is entitled Mattel. Now, we listened to Game Over last time, and I think, despite my kind of mixed feelings on it throughout the video itself, listening back to it through the editing process, I kind of realized how much I enjoyed it, and I've kind of been sort of humming and singing parts of it to myself around the house. It's very, very catchy. And I've kind of, I like it a lot now. Anyway, so hopefully this track does the same. Maybe it'll jump out at me on a first listen, or hopefully it will, it'll just grow and grow with more listens, as most of these songs kind of do. Like I said, I'm not going to give too much preamble. I kind of explained my thoughts on this album last time in the Game Over reaction. So if you want to hear my full thoughts and my kind of, my full thoughts on it, then go listen to the Game Over reaction. But to briefly summarize, I'm a massive fan of Avenged Sevenfold. They're kind of on my Mount Rushmore of bands. They shaped my kind of music taste, I think. And I was kind of shocked when this album first came out, and I listened to parts of it. But now I'm going to listen, back through it with a bit more of an open mind. And we're on track 2 now, so we'll give this a play. This is entitled Mattel. Like the toy company, I assume. Toy manufacturer. Like an elephant's trunk noise. Nice. As it should, but there's nobody home. Whoa. Now I know this might sound crazy, but I've smelled the plastic. This bit's very familiar. And it seems we found ourselves in. Wow, okay, I'll give it a pause. Wow, lots to think. That chorus, I think I presume that's the chorus, was very familiar. I think I've either heard that through, my first kind of listen to of this song before, 3 years ago, or maybe like through their Instagram or something. But I've definitely heard. Now I know this might seem crazy, but I've smelled the plastic daisies. Like I've definitely heard that part before. I'm not going to lie to you. The rest of the song, I have no idea. I don't recognize or remember any of it. So. I mean, it's very kind of, the verse kind of sounds like, I think it's Fermi Paradox. I think it's the verse of Fermi Paradox or something from the stage. I'm pretty sure it's Fermi Paradox, though. Very kind of like that. And I think the lyrical content so far is pretty kind of in line with what I presumed it was going to be, being entitled Mattel. Vinyl skin provides protection, plastic bones, cast button eyes, toy yellow birds upon the rooftop saying, so it's seeming very kind of plastic focused and maybe kind of fake, kind of not real. Like I said, I can't read more into the lyrics than that thus far, but we'll continue. The kind of end of the verse, the end of the chorus there, the in hell bit it says, but it sounded like, definitely didn't sound like he said hell, it sounded like he said in but that was kind of, that definitely caught me off guard, just a random kind of scream in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, we'll continue. That bit. Back a bit. Unfit to hear. Yeah, this bit's very the stage. I don't know what song it is. I'm pretty sure it's Fermi Paradox, but this verse is very kind of similar. And that bit is, and then. Let's just go back and listen to that one more time. That was crazy. Yeah, the kind of the ending of that year after year, the kind of way that it everything drops out and it's just Matt's voice, and it's kind of like very bassy, and it kind of like fills the kind of, you know, soundscape, and then everything drops out and then kind of hits you in the face with this "Please Attend" part, this like pre-chorus, I guess you'd call it. Insane, absolutely insane. Model citizens, yeah. Like a toy model, but also model citizen. Has to be a Truman Show reference. I can't tell if that's a symbol or if that's... Okay, we'll pause before this kind of... I'll go back before this kind of bridge part. I mean, can you even call that a solo? It's more of kind of like a synthy kind of lead part. It sounds like the... It sounded like the octave pedal, that red one that the name escapes me currently, but it's like the most famous kind of octave whammy something. It's called, I can't remember what the pedal's called, but if you play guitar, you'll probably know what it's called. It sounded like that pedal. And like I said, I don't think it's a solo. It didn't sound really solo-ish. It just sounded like a bit of a lead part. It was kind of, you know, bouncing between the left and the right speakers. We haven't heard a typical or, you know, a real kind of Sinister Gates sounding solo on this album so far. I don't know if we're going to get one. Maybe they've made a kind of deliberate stylistic choice to not, or artistic choice to not kind of have Sin play a typical kind of Sin solo, because it might not fit in this kind of strange genre kind of switch that they're going for. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed that regardless. And we've got what sounded like, you know, the kind of bridge to come. So we'll go back a bit and listen to that. Not knowing the name of that pedal is going to annoy me for the entire day. On my string and make me cry. Yeah. It's half time. Please stay here. Okay. I can see by the lyrics we're re-chorusing to end it. Nice, and it's full with the rest of the instrument. Sing the last note, please. Yeah. That was... Now the drums are EQ'd to be like in my next door neighbor's house. Give this a quick pause before the end, because YouTube Music likes to just autoplay the next song, even if there's like 3 seconds left of the one you're listening to. Nobody is next, so if you want me to listen to Nobody, let me know. I probably will anyway, to be honest. But yeah, I really got a kick out of the ending of that song. Don't know if you could tell. The Burn Body Burn bit, very much... that was kind of... that kind of struck me as more Avenged than kind of anything else I've heard so far. But like I said, it's not to say that the kind of new sound isn't the Avenged sound, but that's the most kind of familiar part so far, perhaps is the word to use. And I'm glad that they kind of that ending chorus. I'm glad that he said in hell rather than in and then screamed hell. I could kind of tell he was going to do it just based on the lyrics, because the rest of them are kind of on the in hell parts. The hell is in brackets, and then that part wasn't in brackets, so I knew it was going to be kind of sung rather than screamed, or it was going to be done in a different way, at least anyway. But yeah, that was kind of the perfect kind of crescendo to end that song. Just kind of brought it all together. I think the lyrical content is quite... it's not too abstract. I think it's using a kind of like plastic, Mattel kind of toy. It's invoking that kind of image of being like a toy, being a fake, being plastic in a kind of, world where I think... recently, at least anyway, and I guess 2023 is semi recent. It's kind of, it feels like you do have to sort of live, or at least show that you have this kind of perfect life, or show that you're kind of not better than everyone else, but you log onto Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or something, and you can always find somebody who's doing better than you. In whatever way you deem to be doing better than you, whether it's financially or happiness or whatever. But I think a lot of the time it is fake. These are the kind of thoughts that I'm taking from these lyrics anyway. I think a lot of the time it is obviously fake and plastic, and it's kind of made up. But I think people, certain people kind of they feel that they have to live up to this kind of standard, this kind of plastic, as I say, fake standard. I could ramble all day about my thoughts on this, but I'll leave that there. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that song a lot more than Game Over on the first listen. But like I said at the start, Game Over kind of grew on me a lot during editing. So we'll see if Mattel does the same. But like I say, Mattel I enjoyed a lot more on the first listen than I did to Game Over. But next up we have Nobody, which I kind of recognize the name of. I don't know if that was a single as well. It's 6 minutes, or just about 6 minutes long, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll give that a listen next time. So yeah, thanks for watching. And that was Mattel by Avenged Sevenfold. Let me know if there are any other songs that you'd like me to react to or give my thoughts on. Thanks.